Hey, what is going on, everyone, and welcome to the first event video of patch 6.1. Today we're going to be talking about the Madelyne Pryor Goblin Queen event. We're also going to be taking a very short look at the Spider-Woman A Force of Nature event. That's going to be a rolling milestone over the course of May. So we get some stuff in Madelyne Pryor's event that's going to basically funnel into the Spider-Woman event. So she's not the main focus of this. The main focus of the video is Madelyne Pryor. There's currently 2 milestones that are active. I think a third one is going to be available, but that's going to be in 4 days, and we're going to take a look at that. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Okay, and so very quickly, there's a few things that I want to talk about before we jump in. There was a mail for 300 of these tokens for the Spider-Woman event. You can see behind my head. It says 264 to 600. Now, I received 300 in the mail, but was only attributed 264. Someone said that Mobile Gamer only got like 150 or 160, so there seems to be a bug here already in that mail package, and that's the main event mail for the A Force of Nature. So if you haven't checked that out, go and click on that and see how many you get. So I don't know if they're going to compensate for that or not. What's really important here is we're going to start here. So the scoring mechanism for the A Force of Nature is just collecting these emblems and these items. Now each of these items are going to be available in major milestones. So the Captain Marvel's helmet is worth 6,000 points, which is a lot. That's going to be in the Madelyne Pryor Goblin Queen event. We'll talk about that as we get to the math for that. And then you just get 1 for 1 for these emblems, which are also in the other milestones and throughout the entire month of May. So you can see all the rewards here. There's also a leaderboard portion. I'm not really going to go over this here. It is what it is. There's a bunch of, I think it's 180 Spider-Woman shards in this here. I do have a spreadsheet for it, but we'll look at that very briefly. I'm not really going to go over the leaderboard either. It's here if you want to take a look at it, right? So there's a lot to go on, which is why I can't focus too much on that. But we're going to be doing updates on the A Force of Nature as the month of May progresses. Basically, whenever there's a major milestone to go over, which is the most important. So how you're going to get points for that. The Goblin Queen milestone, this is the main Madelyne Pryor 8-day milestone that you're going to be doing. And a lot of this has to do with war with Darkhold and A-Force, which really at this stage is just Captain Marvel. Actually, I guess if you bought Spider-Woman, then you can use her. So we'll take a look at this when we get to the math. It's fairly complex. Blitz win, Blitz Sim wins, and then blitzing with Marauders at various different gear tiers. There is one thing that I want to say, and I'll reiterate this later, is that you get bonus points for Marauders at gear tier 13, 14, 15, and 16. This is additive. So if you have a gear tier 15 Sinister, you get the points for 10, 20, 40, and 60. This all adds up, actually, because I did a test run, and that's how I got 380 points. This 380 was just one run of 4 Marauders characters, and I had a G15 Sinister, 15 Sabretooth, 14 Strife, and 12 Mystique. And this is how much points that I got. So just to be clear about that. The total amount of shards in the Madelyne Pryor milestone is 150. However, and this is a big however, and we'll talk about this later too, this milestone 40 is realistically very unobtainable in my opinion. So you're probably, most likely you're not going to get here. This is the whale part of the milestone. The more realistic expectation is here, milestone 38, which is where you're going to get the finishing parts of the emblems for the A Force event. This is free-to-play clearable. Where you really want to get to, though, and I have multiple scenarios for this, milestone 35 with the Captain Marvel's helmet. This is probably the most important milestone here, but obviously this is going to help you get 3-star. So Madelyne Pryor is a 2-star unlock at 45 shards. I opened a few Madelyne Pryor orbs for the Agatha event, so it's going to be quite easy to get the 2-star unlock, but you're going to need to get to this milestone 38 if you want to get to the 3-star. So that's very important. Also, one thing that I want to mention, and I'm going to pick this up very quickly here in the video, is that there's a 1 power core milestone that I saw here. So this is for the A Force of Nature as well. So if you have forgot about this and you didn't click on this, do pick it up, and hopefully it does attribute properly, and we'll find out. So we'll double check. 300. Did we actually get 300 though in the milestone? And that's just what I want to check. It looks like that did attribute properly, but the thing in the mail did not for me. So we'll see what kind of follow-up there is for that. So with that being said, now we're going to jump into the spreadsheets here. We're going to start with A Force of Nature very quickly. There's not a lot of stuff here, right? Because we don't have all the information. However, the A-Force in Nature, it's a very long, May-long event, 28-day event. You need 50,000 points. There's a total of 180 Spider-Woman shards up for grabs. These are the different, basically, points that you want to get to free to play, and you're not going to get there today or over the next few days. This is kind of like over a longer period of time. So basically, to get the unlock for 100 shards, you need this many points, 29,500, 45,200 if you want to get the maximum 180 shards. Like I said, we don't know where the other items are coming from yet, but we do know that the Captain, I don't know why I said sash, it's Captain Marvel's helmet. Let me correct that really quick. And that's worth 6,000 points, and that's in the Madelyne Goblin Queen event. And there's some other rewards here. You can see that really in the milestones itself, though, so I'm not really going to go over that. So that's pretty simple there. Pause this if you want to take a look at that. We're going to jump over, though, to... Actually, we're going to show off this. So the web milestone, this is the Prior Life web milestone. So this has to do with arena and campaigns. Now, I also have the math for this in the spreadsheet too. Just want to show you really quick and make sure that you're going online to check this because this is really important. So the math is here on the various points. You get additional points for arenaing with Darkhold. This is super important, but you also, like I said, with the blitzing for Marauders, it's additive points. So the higher your gear tier, your Darkhold is, the more points that you're going to be getting. And this is really, really important actually, because this is going to be making up the significant chunk of the milestone in order to clear. But what are you actually getting out of this? You're not actually getting Madelyne Pryor shards, so it's just like kind of like extra stuff. It's not the end of the world if you don't clear this, but you're going to get points through arena with Darkhold and also with campaign energy, so that's going to be really important here. You just kind of get like random Marauder shards with some Emma Frost, some uniques in here, and at the very end you get this half of an Elite Four orb. So it's not the end of the world. It's actually very minor. One thing I want to point out, though, is it's a 4-day milestone. So there's supposed to be another milestone called Clone Chaos, and I think that's going to be another 4-day milestone after this one because it's an 8-day event. Because I can't find it. It's not up yet as far as I'm aware. So that's what I'm assuming is going to be the case. So Madelyne Pryor's Goblin Queen event. So this is an 8-day milestone, all right? So let's gonna go through this one by one. There's a lot of stuff here. So the total amount of points required for the milestone to clear is 153,000. Now this is incredibly unobtainable, so I'm gonna put this in red because you're probably not gonna get this. There's a good reason why actually in the game there are offers that give you milestone points for this. You can see this in here. There's a good reason for that because those end milestones that I showed you earlier, it's pretty much not obtainable free to play. Total Madelyne shards available is 150. But those last 50 shards are on milestone 40, which, like I said, is pretty unrealistic. Total A-Force emblems, this is 1,016 from these milestones here. And then you want to get to, I forget which milestone that was, but the 71,500 points, that will get you the Captain Marvel helm, which is equivalent to 6,000 points on the A-Force event milestone. So keep that in mind. Now, how do you get scores for this? War battles with Darkhold or A-Force. So if you have Darkhold on your defense, take them off at the next available time so that you can use them to add up. Now, for the purposes of this spreadsheet, I don't know where people have their Darkhold or their A-Force or whatever, like what gear tier they have them at. So for the purposes of the math, I'm just considering the war battles. So this is a flat 300 for war battles. I'm assuming that you're probably going to do 10 battles over 3 wars at least, and so that's equivalent of 30 battles, and it's roughly equivalent to 9,000 points. So when we look at the totals, that's what I'm keeping in mind. If you have your Darkhold on offense, you know, at gear tier 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, you know, great. That means you're going to get more points. But that's one set of characters, you know, that you can only use once per war, and so I don't know where people have it at. Just whatever numbers I have here, and you are doing this, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. That's all I can say. I'm not going to put every single scenario for, you know, whatever gear tier you have. For blitz winning, it's, you know, ignore this part because nobody's manual blitzing right for 60 points. They're just going to sim win for 40. Now, if you remember what I said earlier about the Marauders, it is additive points. So I got 380 or whatever it was for that one match with my full Marauders team, minus Madelyne Pryor because I don't have her unlocked yet. But, you know, you get 40 for a Blitz Sim win, 10 if they include the Marauders, each Marauder character, by the way, and then 20, 40, 60, and 90 for their gear tiers for each Marauder character, right? So a gear tier 15 Sinister is going to give you 10 plus 20 plus 40 plus 60. So you're going to get like 130 just for Sinister and then you get 40 for the Blitz win itself, right? So if you stack all your Marauders into one team, especially if you're going to use Blitz charges, that's what I personally recommend you doing, because that's going to give you the best bang for your buck for points for that. But as far as, again, I don't know where people have their gears at for their characters, so I've only really just assumed Blitz sim winning. You know, when I've done my calculations in terms of how much blitzing you need to do, it's just on that alone. Just know that if you have your Marauders at a certain gear tier, that you're going to get more points out of that, and it'll be a little bit easier for you. So how do you do this if the event is entirely through Blitz wins? Well, you know, this is the entire milestone. So you would have to do this much. Basically 478 sim wins per day, which is unrealistic. Even at 40 teams, that would be 12 rotations, which you can't do, right? So this is for the end of the milestone. And that's why I said that in order to get to that final milestone, it's a whale milestone. But you are getting some points through daily objectives, roughly about 2,525 if I got that correctly. So I want to jump back to the game very quickly. And where are you getting those additional milestone points? I haven't claimed them yet because I just wanted to share with you guys. So certain milestones you can see here on the edge of the screen here, 50 for the Villains United, 50s for the Isotope, 75 for this. So all of these different objectives are going to give you a different amount of points. What's really, really important though is the final one, complete all daily objectives. Gives you 2,000, a whopping 2,000 milestone points for that. So added up all together, you're getting about 2,525 points for the Goblin Queen milestone, which is 20,200 points over the course of 8 days. So this is very, very important. That's a lot, considering where we want to get to for that Captain Marvel's helm is like 71,500, which is almost a third of the way there. So make sure you're doing this. It's a very easy way to get points. Okay, so I have 3 different scenarios. So scenario 1 is so we're talking about this is the milestone 38. Oh no, sorry, this is the final milestone. Yeah. So I basically subtracted the 153,000 minus 22,200 and minus 9,000 from war, because I don't know, right? Like who has what. So this leaves a total of points. Sorry, I'm jumping around. Woo! 123,800 points. Okay, if you want to clear the entire milestone, right? And so what does that leave you with in terms of the total blitz sims that you need? 387 blitz wins per day, sim wins per day, rather than the 478 from above. Okay, this is still impossible because even at 40 per rotation, you would cap out at, what is that, 320 sim wins. So it's impossible. Like if you spend some on the offers and you do 8 rotations a day, you might be able to get those last 50 shards for Madelyne Pryor. Is it worth it? I don't know. That's entirely up to you. But it's not possible really free to play, and that's kind of the point I wanted to make. Now, scenario 2. This is to milestone 38, and so I want to jump back really quickly to the milestone because this is a more reasonable expectation. So milestone 38 here is the kind of the de facto final one in my opinion, and this is where you're going to get 100 shards from Madelyne Pryor. So this is scenario 2 here, and so requires you 10,200, or sorry, 102,000 points, and I subtracted the daily objectives and the war score, and that gives you 72,800 remaining of what you need to do. And this is a lot more reasonable. So total sims that you need to do: 1,820, 228 per day, or, you know, at 35 teams per rotation, it's about 6.5 rotations. So this is possible, and a lot more possible. And like I said, this doesn't include the Darkhold war, and it doesn't include the Blitz with the Marauders. So if you have those, and you have them at the particular gear tier, this will be a little bit easier for you to get to. How much more? I'm not sure, I didn't do the calculations, but no, it's going to be less than 6.5 rotations, especially if you're spam Blitz charging on Marauders characters, and you're doing all 5 of your arena attacks with Darkhold characters at, say, gear tier 15 or above. So that's going to make a big difference. Scenario 3, this is points to milestone 35. This is Captain Marvel's helmet. So that's 71,500 points. I subtracted the value from before, and we get 42,300. So if you just want to get to Captain Marvel's helmet, which is pretty important for the A Force of Nature event, then you're looking at this. You know, basically 132 sim wins per day, or approximately 4 blitz rotations with 35 teams. Now, of course, like I said above, if you're doing it with Marauders and all that Darkhold stuff, it's going to be less than this. So this is probably the much more reasonable expectation here. Scenario 3, I think a lot of people are going to be able to do this. I think that if you're going hardcore and blitzing and doing this like for 8 days, then great, then you can get Scenario 2 done. I think Scenario 1 is like next to impossible. So let me know what your plans are for that, for blitzing. I know that we've just on the back of, you know, a hardcore heavy blitz event with Agatha, so honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if people just settle for this one. So just wanted to let people know about that. Prior life, this is the web milestone. It's fairly simple, but we're going to go through this anyway. So 37,000 points is what you need to clear this. Okay, so you're actually getting 5 points per 1 energy spent in campaign. So these are all your sources of campaign energy, and realistically, at the end of the day, you can easily get about 868 energy. Now, this is just assuming 2 core refreshes or 2 refreshes for energy, not the full 4. So you could do more if you want, but this is about 868 daily, which is equivalent to, after multiplication, 4340 if you times it by 5. You know, you're getting 4,340 points. Now, times that by another 4 days, that's roughly around 17,000 points. So it's not quite halfway there, but it's almost there. And so the rest of it is really going to come down to Arena. Arena actually makes a significant difference. Here's all the numbers for the Arena stuff here, and you can see that basically a full Darkhold G15 Arena match is going to get you about 1,270 points. This is a lot. So if you do 5 per day, and then over 4 days, that's 20 Arena matches, you're going to get 25,400 points. That's quite significant over the 4 days. Plus, whatever I said, the 17,000 from energy, that'll get you to about 42,000. So the point is that, yeah, you're probably going to want to do about all of your arena battles, and the closer to Darkhold Gear 15, the better, because you can see that the points difference between Darkhold G14 and 15, 50 to 140, that's per character, by the way, as well. So you're going to want to use as many of them as possible. I know people are using hybrid arena battles, but if you can use the full Darkhold team in your arena battles, that's going to be the best bang for your buck for this milestone. So I want to just let you know about that. Also, like I said, we have this Clone Chaos milestone. I think this is going to be in 4 days. So I'll do an update when that becomes a thing. This is my tentative spreadsheet for that. It's related to raids and ISO 8 energy spending. So we don't know what the total points are required. We do know, well, how much ISO 8 energy you can spend. So what I would say is that save up on your ISO 8 energy packs. You know, these in-game packs that you get here, here that you get from your daily objectives. Save these, hold on to these for 4 days from now, and you'll be able to score better points for that. And this is to do with raiding with Darkhold and Marauders. So just keep a heads up that you're going to get additional points for that based on their gear tier, and I'll do an update video when it's available in 4 days time. So that's everything for what you need to know for the Madelyne Pryor Goblin Queen event. A lot of it is related to, well, a lot of blitzing, but also making sure that you're using the right characters for your war battles. So like I said, make sure that you're taking off your Darkhold from the defense if you have them on there, and use them on offense. And of course, for your blitz charges, really make sure you're just using it on a Marauders team. So what I'm going to be doing here is, you know, I'm going to just do a bunch of, you know, from this is my Marauders team here that I have stacked together because I don't have Madelyne Pryor. Hopefully I win, even though I'm at gear tier 6. And, you know, I'm just going to do this a bunch of times, and I'm going to get 300, at least for me, I'm going to get about, you know, 380 points every single time I win this. And so that's going to result in a lot of extra points. So make sure you're doing this, and that will help you go a long way. If you don't have the Marauders or Darkhold geared up very well, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit more harder for you to clear this milestone. But for those of you who do, it shouldn't be too difficult, especially depending on what milestone your goal is for this event. So that's everything for this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I know there's a lot of people out there that watch my videos that don't actually subscribe to the channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you did. If you haven't, check to see if you're subscribed. If not, hit that button, please. And of course, until next time, guys, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.